You think you're resting, but your body is quietly paying the price. Waking up to urinate at night isn't just annoying. It may be slowly draining your energy, focus, and health. In this journey, you'll discover a natural path to restore your nights and finally take back control of your sleep. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, not once, but 2, 3, maybe even 4 times, just to go to the bathroom? You turn over, eyes heavy, desperate to cling to your fading dream, only to feel that pressure again. Your bladder calling. It may feel like just a small inconvenience at first. Maybe you've even laughed it off, thinking it's part of getting older or drinking too much water. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless habit could be silently undermining your health, your mood, and your very ability to function during the day? This condition has a name: nocturia. It's far more than just a bathroom break in the dark. It's a warning sign from your body, and most people don't even realize what's really happening when they wake up multiple times a night. And here's something even more surprising. Nocturia isn't always caused by problems with your bladder. Often, it's just the symptom, the surface of something much deeper and more complex. When your sleep is interrupted, your body misses out on vital processes that occur during your deepest stages of rest. That's when your brain cleans itself, your hormones reset, your immune system strengthens, and your organs repair. But if you're up and down all night, your body never gets to finish those critical tasks. Over time, this can lead to fatigue, poor memory, reduced focus, mood swings, weakened immunity. And that's only the beginning. In fact, studies suggest that people who frequently wake up due to nocturia may be at higher risk of developing chronic conditions linked to poor sleep, like cardiovascular issues and cognitive decline. And yet, many continue ignoring it, thinking it's just a normal part of aging. Let's be clear, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. And certainly not harmless. Think about it. You wake up tired. You reach for that second, maybe third cup of coffee before noon. You struggle through your tasks, yawning during meetings, snapping at loved ones, losing motivation to exercise or eat well. It's a cycle, and nocturia might be at the very root of it. So what's really behind this silent disruptor of your rest? The answers might surprise you. Because what if I told you that your bladder isn't the problem at all? That something else in your body, something hidden, might be sending false alarms to your brain in the middle of the night? We're going to dive into that and more. But stay with me, because there's something else you need to know. There's a simple, natural solution that many people overlook. One that can help rebalance your body and dramatically reduce nocturia episodes without harsh medications or invasive treatments. But most importantly, there's a right way and a wrong way to use it. Use it incorrectly, and not only will you see little to no improvement, but you could actually make things worse. That's why it's crucial to stick with me through every part of this journey. And here's the bonus. At the very end, I'll share a powerful tip that very few people know about. A technique that, when combined with the right approach, can enhance your body's natural ability to stay asleep through the night. It's simple, it's safe, and it could be the missing piece that changes everything for you. But it all starts by understanding that nocturia is not just a bathroom issue. It's a body-wide imbalance. And the first step to regaining control of your nights is knowing what's really waking you up. Because what comes next may just be the wake-up call your health has been waiting for. And missing it, not giving attention to what might seem like a minor inconvenience, can slowly, silently take a toll on your quality of life. So stay with me, because the next insight is one of the most important you'll hear. Ignoring it might not only lead to continued sleepless nights, but also trigger effects in your body you didn't even realize were connected. And you deserve better than that. What if the urge to urinate at night isn't coming from your bladder at all? That may sound strange, but it's one of the most misunderstood truths about nocturia. Most people assume that if they're waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom, something must be wrong with their urinary system. But in many cases, that's not where the problem starts. It's simply where the symptoms appear. The real issue? Your hormones. Inside your body, there's a precise chemical orchestra working around the clock. One of its most important roles is controlling when and how much urine your body produces. During the day, your body naturally produces more urine to help flush out waste. But at night, a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, tells your kidneys to slow down, preserving your sleep. When ADH is working properly, it acts like a switch, dialing down urine production as you rest. But if your body isn't producing enough of this hormone, or if it's releasing it at the wrong times, your kidneys won't get the message. And that means you'll keep producing urine, even during the hours when you should be deep in sleep. So what throws ADH off balance? One major culprit is chronic stress. When your body is under pressure, emotionally, physically, mentally, it releases cortisol, a stress hormone that can interfere with ADH. It's your body's way of staying alert during danger. But when this becomes a long-term pattern, your internal clock begins to malfunction. Add to that our modern lifestyle: screens glowing late into the night, dinners pushed to 9 p.m. or later, and constant exposure to artificial light that tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. All of this interferes with your body's circadian rhythm, the master clock that controls hormone cycles, sleep patterns, and even bladder function. You might be surprised to learn that people who work night shifts or use their phones right before bed are more likely to experience nocturia, even if they're healthy otherwise. That's because their hormonal timing is off. Their body doesn't know it's time to rest. And here's something even more unexpected. Caffeine and alcohol, two of the most consumed substances in North America, can reduce ADH levels and increase nighttime urine production. But it's not just what you drink, it's when you drink it. Having a glass of wine at 8 p.m. or an afternoon iced coffee at 5 p.m. might seem harmless, but these habits can sabotage your night without you even realizing it. But let's not forget the good news. This hormone disruption isn't irreversible. There are natural, effective ways to help your body restore its hormonal balance, starting with how you wind down in the evening. A consistent bedtime routine, reduced screen time after sunset, and relaxation techniques like deep breathing or magnesium-rich herbal teas can all send calming signals to your nervous system. Another step? Going to bed with your body, not against it. That means adjusting your habits to match your natural rhythms. Eat earlier, dim your lights, limit late-night stimulation, and give your body the cues it needs to switch into repair mode. Over time, these small changes can help increase your ADH production at night, reduce the frequency of bathroom trips, and allow your body to complete the deep, healing sleep it craves. Because sometimes, the problem isn't what's happening in your bladder. It's what's happening in your brain. Understanding how your hormones influence nocturia is essential. Without this awareness, any solution will be like putting a Band-Aid on the surface, when the root of the problem lies deeper. Your body is a system, and every piece works together. Disrupt one part, and the whole rhythm falls out of sync. Now, here's the real challenge. Even if you correct your hormonal balance, there's another factor that could be making things worse, one that lives on your plate. And this next detail is one of the most important of all. Ignore it. And not only might your results be limited, but you could also be unknowingly aggravating your condition in ways that impact more than just your sleep. Once you begin to understand that nocturia is not just a bladder issue, but a systemic one influenced by hormones and habits, another hidden factor becomes impossible to ignore: your food. Not just what you eat, but when, how often, and how your meals interact with your body's natural rhythms. It may seem unrelated, but what lands on your plate could be fueling your restless nights more than you realize. Let's start with a common mistake. Many people trying to live healthier turn to foods that are labeled as light, fresh, or hydrating, like tomatoes, watermelon, cucumber, and celery. They're great for a midday salad or snack, right? Absolutely. But when consumed at the wrong time, especially at dinner, these very foods can increase nighttime urine production. Tomatoes, for instance, are naturally high in water content and also mildly acidic, which can irritate the bladder lining. Watermelon and cucumber, both praised for their diuretic properties, may help flush toxins during the day. But eat them at night, and you might be flushing your sleep away, literally. Celery contains natural sodium and compounds that encourage urination. None of these are harmful foods on their own, but they're not evening-friendly if you're struggling with nocturia. Then there's the hidden salt problem. A lot of people focus on sugar when it comes to health, but sodium is a silent contributor to nocturnal urination. High-sodium meals, especially common in North American diets, think pizza, deli meats, canned soups, or even salad dressings, lead to fluid retention during the day. And guess what happens when you lie down? Your body shifts that retained fluid into circulation and starts pushing it out through your kidneys. That's right. Your midnight bathroom trips may be your body playing catch-up from a salty lunch. Another underestimated trigger? Late-night snacks, especially sweet ones. Blood sugar spikes and crashes can interfere with your hormonal regulation, including the very hormones that control your sleep-wake cycle and urine production. Eating closer to bedtime also activates your digestive system when it should be winding down, sending mixed signals to your internal clock. So what's the solution? Timing, balance, and awareness. Start by front-loading your hydration and water-rich foods during the first half of the day. Aim to finish your last full glass of water at least 2 hours before bedtime. Make dinner your lightest meal, not your heaviest. Choose cooked vegetables over raw ones. Include a source of magnesium, like leafy greens or pumpkin seeds, which supports muscle relaxation and bladder control. Instead of high-sodium processed foods, focus on whole, unprocessed meals seasoned with herbs like basil, thyme, or turmeric, which add flavor without the salt load. And be mindful of hidden sugars, especially in condiments, sauces, and so-called healthy packaged snacks. These adjustments are not about restriction. They're about aligning with your biology. When you eat the right foods at the right times, you support your body's ability to rest, repair, and rebalance overnight. And here's something even more encouraging. Studies have shown that reducing sodium intake and adjusting the timing of fluid-rich foods can cut nocturia episodes by up to 50% in some individuals. That's not a small improvement. That's potentially life-changing. If you've been treating nocturia as a bathroom problem, it's time to see it as a lifestyle feedback loop. Your food speaks to your hormones guide your sleep, and your sleep influences your next day's cravings, energy, and mood. Break that cycle by being intentional with your meals, and your nights could transform. But we're not done yet. There's another everyday habit, seemingly healthy, even praised, that could be secretly sabotaging your progress. Most people think they're doing it right, but a simple timing mistake can erase all the benefits of your effort. And worse, continuing to get it wrong may lead to more than just disturbed sleep. It could interfere with your heart, kidneys, and blood pressure regulation over time. That's why this next step is one of the most important. Ignoring it not only reduces your chances of improvement, it could lead to complications you never expected. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. You've already seen how the wrong foods at the wrong time can disturb your body's ability to rest and repair. But now it's time to turn our attention to something even more fundamental. Water. Essential, life-giving, healing. But when consumed improperly, it can become the very reason your sleep keeps getting interrupted. Water isn't the villain here. In fact, proper hydration is one of the most important pillars of health. But like many things in life, timing and balance are everything. If you're drinking the majority of your water in the evening, especially close to bedtime, you may be unknowingly training your body to wake up right when it should be at its deepest rest. Here's the biology. Your kidneys don't stop working at night, but under normal circumstances, they do slow down, thanks to that hormone we talked about earlier, ADH. But when you flood your system with fluids too late in the day, you overwhelm that natural process. Your kidneys respond by ramping up urine production, regardless of what time it is. That's why even people with healthy bladders can find themselves getting up 2 or 3 times a night, simply because they drank too much, too late. Now think about this. Many health-conscious individuals carry a water bottle with them all day, sipping constantly, which is great, but they often forget to shift their intake earlier. Then, realizing they didn't drink enough by dinner, they chug 2 or 3 glasses with their evening meal, or worse, after it, often while watching TV, scrolling through their phone, or winding down. That habit can set off a chain reaction. Digestion is stimulated. Blood sugar may spike depending on what you're drinking with, and your bladder gets put on alert just as you're settling into bed. So how do you fix it without compromising your hydration? Front-load your water intake. Start your day with a glass of room-temperature water as soon as you wake up. Then, Continue to hydrate consistently throughout the morning and early afternoon. Aim to drink at least 70% of your daily water quota before 6 p.m. Reduce the volume gradually as the evening progresses, and be mindful of beverages that act as diuretics, like green tea, alcohol, and even some sports drinks, especially after sunset. You don't have to eliminate fluids at night, but you should drink with awareness. A few sips to take supplements or medications are fine, but avoid the habit of drinking a full glass of water right before brushing your teeth. It might feel comforting, but it's contributing more to your nighttime wake-ups than you think. Now, here's a small but powerful trick. Elevate your legs for 30 minutes in the late afternoon. Why? During the day, fluid tends to accumulate in your lower limbs. When you lie down at night, that fluid gets reabsorbed into your bloodstream and processed by the kidneys, leading to nocturnal urination. By elevating your legs before bed, think of putting your feet up on a pillow or recliner. You help your body start that process earlier, which can reduce the fluid load your kidneys face overnight. These aren't radical changes, they're refinements. And when you apply them consistently, you give your body the best chance to reset its natural rhythms. Because what we're doing here is not about quick fixes. It's about teaching your body to trust again. Trust that it's safe to sleep through the night. Trust that you've given it everything it needs to rest, recover, and rebuild. Water, when respected, becomes an ally in that mission. But if ignored or mistimed, it can become the very reason your body keeps waking you up. And here's where things get even more interesting. You've now seen the roles that hormones, food, and hydration play. But there's something else, something most people never even consider. A natural, science-backed remedy that goes beyond lifestyle adjustments. It works directly with your body's own signals to calm the bladder and support uninterrupted sleep. It's been studied, tested, and in some cases, even used in clinical practice. But it only works when prepared correctly. Use it wrong, and not only will it lose its effects, it could also lead to discomfort or unintended reactions. That's why the next step is one of the most important. Skipping it could mean missing out on one of nature's most effective tools for restoring peaceful, uninterrupted nights. And that's not a chance you want to take. After adjusting your hydration, food timing, and understanding your body's hormonal rhythms, it's time to bring in a deeper layer of natural support, one that goes beyond habit correction and speaks directly to your physiology. Nature, after all, has always been a quiet ally in restoring balance, and in the case of nocturia, it offers a unique botanical solution that's both gentle and surprisingly effective. Pumpkin seed. For centuries, pumpkin seeds have been valued for their nutritional richness. But more recently, researchers have turned their attention to something specific within them, phytosterols and zinc, which appear to support bladder health, particularly in cases of overactive bladder and nighttime urgency. Pumpkin seed extract has been studied in both men and women for its ability to improve urinary frequency and urgency. In some trials, participants reported a significant reduction in nocturia episodes after consistent use. But what's most promising is that these benefits didn't require high doses or pharmaceutical intervention, just consistency and the correct method of use. Now let's be clear. We're not talking about just grabbing a handful of salted pumpkin seeds from the store. The seeds need to be raw, ideally organic, and consumed in a way that allows your body to access their full spectrum of nutrients. The best preparation method for this purpose is soaking the seeds overnight in filtered water with a pinch of sea salt. This activates enzymes, breaks down anti-nutrients, and makes the zinc and magnesium more bioavailable. The next morning, you can rinse them and gently toast them at low temperature if you prefer, or consume them raw. Added to smoothies, blended into herbal infusions, or simply chewed slowly as part of a mindful snack. Around 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is usually enough to begin seeing benefits over a few weeks. The key here isn't just the seed, it's the ritual. When you take time each day to nourish your body with intention, you begin building a relationship of trust with your system. You're telling your body, I'm listening, I'm supporting you, you can relax. To enhance the effects, pair the pumpkin seed with calming herbs that are known for their nervine and bladder-soothing properties. One particularly effective combination is chamomile tea with crushed pumpkin seed. Chamomile works as a mild sedative, calming the nervous system, and can support muscle relaxation, including the detrusor muscle in your bladder, which is often overstimulated in nocturia cases. To prepare this infusion, steep 1 tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers, or a high-quality tea bag, in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. Then add 1 teaspoon of freshly crushed, soaked pumpkin seeds and let them steep for another 3 minutes. Strain and drink 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This natural blend provides not only bladder support, but also emotional comfort. The act of preparing and sipping this tea becomes a signal to your brain and body that it's time to transition into rest. And it's in that rest that real healing begins. But like any powerful remedy, the preparation matters. Using roasted or salted seeds from commercial snack bags won't have the same effect. Boiling the tea too long or adding sugar can also counteract the calming properties. Precision and care are what turn everyday ingredients into medicine. What's truly remarkable is how accessible this approach is. No prescriptions, no expensive supplements, just nature, properly used. And when done right, this can be a turning point. Countless individuals have reported fewer nighttime wake-ups, deeper sleep, and even improved daytime focus simply by adding this step into their routine. But we're not done yet, because even with the right foods, hydration, and natural remedies, there's one critical factor that could undo everything. A common bedtime mistake that most people overlook. It seems minor. It feels harmless. But it may be silently overstimulating your nervous system and triggering your bladder to stay active throughout the night. And if you don't address this, your progress could stall. Worse, you could end up blaming your efforts or giving up on solutions that were actually working, all because of this one overlooked detail. That's why what comes next is one of the most important things you'll learn. And missing it could mean not just restless nights, but also subtle damage to your energy, your immune system, and your long-term health. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. There's something profoundly frustrating about doing everything right. Adjusting your hydration, timing your meals, choosing the right foods, and even adding natural remedies, only to find that nocturia still disrupts your rest. If that's been your experience, you're not alone. And there's a reason this might be happening that most people never consider. Temperature regulation, especially around your feet. Your body is constantly assessing its environment to determine how safe and calm it feels. One of the ways it does that is through skin temperature. The temperature of your feet, in particular, plays a key role in how easily you fall asleep and how deeply you stay there. When your feet are cold, blood vessels constrict, a process called vasoconstriction, which signals the body to stay alert. That alone can delay the onset of deep sleep. But more than that, vasoconstriction also stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, the same system that heightens bladder activity and keeps you ready to act. In other words, cold feet don't just make you uncomfortable. They send a signal to your body that it's not time to relax. And when that happens, your bladder may stay overly active even if you've done everything else right. So what's the fix? It's simpler than you might think, and it begins with a ritual as old as time: a warm foot soak. Creating a short evening routine with a warm foot bath can significantly relax your nervous system, reduce core body tension, and help your bladder enter a more passive state. This isn't just about warmth, it's about redirecting blood flow, grounding your body, and signaling safety to your brain. To prepare, fill a basin with comfortably hot water, not scalding, just enough to feel soothing. Add a handful of coarse sea salt and 5 to 10 drops of lavender essential oil. The sea salt helps draw tension out of the body, while the lavender interacts with the limbic system to reduce anxiety and promote calm. Soak your feet for 15 to 20 minutes. During that time, dim the lights, avoid screens, and focus on your breath. This ritual alone has been shown to reduce nighttime wakefulness and increase parasympathetic activity, the state your body needs to stay in for healing and uninterrupted sleep. But that's not all. After drying your feet, keep them warm with cozy socks or a warm blanket. Avoid going to bed with cold feet, especially in cooler months. A sudden drop in peripheral temperature can undo all the calming signals you've just cultivated. When practiced consistently, This simple habit can become a powerful anchor for your nervous system. It tells your brain, "We're safe. It's time to let go." This is the layer most people skip. They focus on what they eat, drink, and supplement, but forget about the signals their body is constantly sending and receiving through touch, temperature, and ritual. And remember the bonus tip I promised you earlier? Here it is. Pairing this foot soak with deep diaphragmatic breathing for just 5 minutes afterward multiplies the effect. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. Repeat slowly. This combination helps your vagus nerve, your body's relaxation switch, stay activated longer, reducing the chance of bladder overactivity and nighttime awakenings. This isn't just about sleep. It's about reclaiming your body's ability to trust the night again. When you honor your body with care, rhythm, and presence, it responds in kind. It rests. It heals. It rebuilds. Nocturia doesn't have to define your nights. With the right knowledge, gentle practices, and respect for how deeply connected your systems are, you can transform restless nights into periods of true restoration. You've just unlocked a path many never discover, not because it's hidden, but because they never thought to look this deep. Now it's your turn to take this wisdom and live it. If this message resonated with you, if even one tip made you pause and reflect, then imagine the impact of sharing it. Someone you know may be silently suffering through sleepless nights, unaware that their relief could begin with something as simple as a seed, a cup of tea, or a foot soak. Share this with them. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more insights that empower you to take your health into your own hands. Because knowledge is most powerful when it's shared, and healing begins with understanding.